Hello friends, how are you? In this video, we'll discuss about handling database using Python. So we will use Oracle database. Okay. Now handling database using Python. So few basic steps are there. We'll see one by one. First of all, for database, we need to you can download Oracle database. You can download Oracle Express Edition, database Express Edition from this particular link. So if you click this particular link, you can land this particular page, and if you can see this particular link, database expression edition. If you click this particular link, you can get the Oracle Express Edition. If you click this particular link, easily you can download it. Okay. If you click this particular link directly, we can open this particular page, and if you click this particular link, easily you can download the Oracle Database Express Edition for Windows 64. Okay, so you can see different versions are there. So, but already we have downloaded. So I will cancel this particular, and directly you can see the download section. You just unzip the folder. You will get this particular folder. If you click this particular folder, so to install Oracle Express Edition, you just click this setup. So you can click setup and click yes. Okay, then click next, accept terms and condition, next. Okay, now you can enter database password, confirm database password. Now you can give the password, say tiger, Tiger in small case, then Tiger first in small case, confirm database. Now you can see, just remember this one. So the password you will be used for, it may be the SYS, it may be SYS TEM, or it may be this one. So in this particular video, we will use this one, system. You just remember this one, system. Okay, next, and install it. Okay, then click on finish. Okay, next we can see the SQL. Okay, so username is what? System. Okay, and password is what? Tiger. So the database there. Now we can write like select asterisk from employee. Okay, so employee table is not there. Select asterisk from student, it is also not there. So select asterisk from tab. So set of tables are there, you can see. Okay, next step is what? We have to download Oracle Instant Client. Okay, downloads for Microsoft Windows 64-bit. So you can click this particular link. So if you click this particular link, we can open this particular file, and here you just click this one. Okay, so after uh, installing Oracle database, Oracle instant client, and after setting the path for this instant client, and after that we have installed cx underscore Oracle, we'll just see different important modules or important functions we will use. So cx underscore Oracle module, what is this? A connector for communicating with any database through Python. So we will use this particular cx underscore Oracle. It's a connector for communicating between database and the Python. Next, connect. So connect function to establish a connection between Python and Oracle database. Next, we'll use cursor object for SQL query to provide results. So it is an object. Okay. Next, cursor.execute and within bracket SQL query to execute a single query. So to execute a query, suppose this is what our SQL query. To execute SQL query, you have to write is cursor.execute, and to execute query with multiple variables, bind variables, we will use cursor.execute many, and here you have to give the SQL queries. And definitely you have to write commit and close. Commit is for to make changes reflect in the database. Okay, so that already you know what is commit. Okay, and close is what? It is mandatory to close all the operations. So we will see one by one. So first of all, we need to initialize the Oracle client. Okay, so definitely we have to import cx underscore Oracle and cx underscore Oracle dot init underscore Oracle underscore client, and the path is which we have just set, c colon Oracle instant client underscore 21 underscore 6. Okay, and definitely we can connect Python with the database, and we can print the version, and we can close this particular console. Okay, so we can execute it. So if we can execute it. Okay, actually Oracle client library has already been initialized, so that's why it is not required. So first time it is okay, and from the second time it will give an error. Okay, so you just disable it, and if you re-execute it, we can see the version is what, 21.3.0.0.0. Okay, now we will see uh, the first query. Suppose we want to create a table. The name of the table is student, where attributes are roll number, name, age, and address. Okay, so definitely you have to write import cx underscore Oracle. Okay, so first of all you have to connect Oracle with Python, and we have to create a object. Okay, so object for SQL query to provide results. So cursor is equal to con.cursor. So this is what our class name, and it will create an object. Okay, and after that we have to write cursor.execute, and here we have to provide the SQL query. Create table student. So name of the table is what, student. Roll number, so roll number, name, age, and address. These are what, the variables name, and these are the type. Roll number is a number, name is a varchar2 size 10, age is a number, and address is varchar2 10. Are you getting my point? Okay, then after creating the table, it will print table created successfully, and definitely you have to close everything. So cursor.close, con.close, and con.commit. Okay, so it is mandatory, you have to close all the things. Okay, now watch out, one more thing here. We mention query like this way, so we can mention like this way also, but in that case we have to put the things in a single line. Okay, are you getting my point? So if you write like this way, if you remove this one, and if you put single that double quote, we have to write in a single line to execute. Okay, now it is a proper way of writing a program, but here I don't want this particular cursor. I need should be visible every time. So here we mention like this way. Okay, so you can see this one, single quote, create table student, but remember one thing, this is what a single query. Okay, it's a single query. And if you execute it now, we can see the SQL. We can just type SQL. Okay, so you can call SQL. Now here the username is system as far as TEM, and the password is tiger, TIGER. Enter. Okay, now we can see the whether the student table is there or not. So we can write select asterisk from student. Okay, execute it. Now you can see the tabular view doesn't exist. Okay, tabular view doesn't exist. So definitely the table is not there. So we have to create this particular table. So how to create this now? Minimize it. Okay, so we have to execute. Achha, remember one thing here. We have to connect Python with Oracle. Here you have to put the username as well as the password at the rate localhost. So this is what you have here. You have to put your username, user ID, and this is your password, which you have set. Okay, so practically Scott Tiger, already you know Scott Tiger is there, Scott and Tiger. So Scott Tiger. So you have to mention the Scott, here you have to mention the Tiger. But in my database, the username is what system and the password is what Tiger. So this is what you have to remember this one. Now execute this particular instruction. Now table created successfully. Okay, now it is created. Now you can see the SQL command. Okay, you can see the SQL command. So two are there. You have to remove this one. Okay. Now once again create the execute this query. Select a stick from student and enter. Now you can see no row selected, but the table is created. Table is there. Okay. Achha, one more thing here. We do not use try and except. Generally, we have to write the program. We have to execute using try and except. Okay. So try and except. So already you know. So if it is executed properly, then it's okay. If any exception is there, then it will execute the except part, and if con is true, then it will roll back the con and it will print the error. Okay, so you can see that both the programs are same. You can see here these two programs are same. These two programs are same. Program example 2 and example 3 both are same. The difference is here you do not use try and except, but in this program we use try and except. Definitely, first of all you have to connect this one, and cursor is equal to contact cursor. Then we have to execute the query, SQL query, and we have to close everything. Okay, and if any exception will occur, then it will execute this particular part of the program. Okay, so if you re-execute it, it will give the table is already there. Okay, so if you execute it, you can receive an error that name is already used by existing object. Definitely it is already there, so definitely you cannot do this one. Okay, now next you have to insert a data one by one. Suppose we want to insert a data into the student table. Okay, so import cx_oracle, then here it is try and except is there. So definitely you have to open it and you have to initialize the cursor, and cursor.execute, here you have to put the SQL command, and after inserting successfully it will print row inserted successfully. You have to close the cursor, you have to commit the database, and you have to close the con. Now here you can see here insert into student values. So this is what SQL query. Insert into student values 1, Neeraj, 24 Haryana. So roll number is what? Roll number is 1. Name is Neeraj. Age is 24 and he is from Haryana. Okay, so is it okay? Now if you execute it, we can see the message row inserted successfully. And if you see once again the table, and if you execute it, you can see that Neeraj is there. Initially the table is empty. Now 1 Neeraj, age 24, address Haryana is there. Okay, next. Uh, Next program is what? Insert more than one data into a student table. We want to insert more than one data. So these two lines are same. Okay, these are same line. So you just concentrate only this particular part. Okay. So what is the SQL query? Insert into student values. So what are the values? Roll number, name, age, and address. Okay. Now this is what our SQL query you have to pass. And what is the record? So we need to insert 3 records. What are those records? 2 Rafi 20 Delhi, 3 Raju 31 Kerala, 4 Sandhya 24 Kolkata. And you have to pass this particular record and you have to execute cursor.execute many. So if you execute this particular line, it will print all, it will insert it into the table and all the rows are inserted successfully. And definitely you have to close the cursor, you have to commit the con and you have to close the con. So we can execute it. So if you execute this particular line, it will print an error that all the rows are inserted successfully. Okay, so we can see the output. You can see the output. If you re-execute it, the same table. Now you can see after Neeraj, Rafi, Raju, and Sandhya, 3 more students are there. Okay, is it okay? Okay, next. Enter the data using keyboard. Okay, so enter the data into. So you can see here definitely we have to use try and accept import cx underscore oracle. So these are the lines which are these are very common lines. So we have to write these are the very common line. You can see these are very common line. But here we have to insert the data. We have to insert the data through keyboard. Okay, so how it is possible? So while true, that means what? It is an infinite loop. Okay, so we have to input roll number, name, age, and address. So what is the SQL query? You just see the SQL query. Insert it to student values, percentage, 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 percentage. Because roll number and age both are integer, but name and address both are string. Okay, so we have to pass this particular SQL command as well as percent, roll number, name, age, and address. Okay, so it will be inserted into that particular query. It will insert it into this particular student. After that, it will print row is added successfully, and then we have to give the option. The option is what? Insert one. Are you insert one more record? So if you want to insert, type yes, otherwise type no. So if you don't want to, then it will check if option is equal to no. So it will close and commit all the open objects, and it will execute the break statement. That means come out from the loop, because here you use infinite loop. Okay, and here we input those variables roll number, name, age using the keyboard. Are you getting my point? So you can see here total how many students are there. You can see the output. How many students are there? 4 students are there. So we have to mention roll number 5. Okay, so you can execute it. So what is the roll number? Roll number 5. What is the name? Name is Salman. And age is say 24, or you can say 34. And address is Mumbai. Okay, so row is added successfully. Okay, insert one more record, yes or no. Suppose yes, I need it. Execute one more. So row number is what? 6. Okay, name is Suman, age say 22, and he is from Assam. Okay, insert one more record. No, I don't want any more record. Enter. Okay, and you can check the table. So once again, you just click it. Now you can see here, before that, before we had this particular content. Now we have this one, say Salman and Suman. Salman is from Mumbai and Suman is from Assam. Okay. Next, display all the content of the student database. Suppose we want to display the content of the database. So how to do this one? So definitely these two, it will be better if you put all these three lines in a single line, so that I can reduce the size of this particular program. Okay, so definitely these are common line. These are very common line. These are very common line. So you just concentrate this particular part. Okay, so cursor dot execute. The SQL command is what? Select asterisk from student. Achha. Next we have to write row is equal to cursor dot fetch one. Okay, and if you print it, fetch one. If you print it, you can write while row. So row will contain the data, first data, single data. While row in is not none. If some variable is there, if some data is there, it will be what? Not none. If no value is there, it will give what? It will give it should be none. Okay, are you getting my point? So if the data is there, row is what? Not none. So this condition will be true. So while row is not none, print row. Okay, and row is equal to cursor dot fetch one. So actually it will be in a recursively. So it will fetch one by one. Okay, so if three records are there, first it will fetch first one, then second one, then third one. So after that it will be empty, no record is there. In that case it will be false and it will come out from the. Okay, so you can execute it. So if you execute it, we can see the set of data. These are the data: Neeraj, Rafi, Raju, Sandhya, Salman, Suman. Okay, next, display age in order. So here you can see the ages are there. So these are the ages 24, 20. Now we want to display the content of the database in order of age. So how to write this one? So you just concentrate this particular part. Cursor.execute, cur.execute, and that this is what our SQL query. Select asterisk from student, order by age. For data in cur, so cur will hold the data, then print the data one by one. So various ways are there how to display the content of the data. This is one way, this is one way, this is another way. It is up to you how to use it. Now if you execute it, you can see the data in ascending order. The age is in ascending order: 20, 22, 24, 24, 31, 34. Okay, so age is in ascending order. So you can use this one. Okay, next. So actually we have a dedicated video on SQL command. So please see our playlist, DBMS. So where we I think 60 to 65 videos are there. Okay, so you can check this one. Display data any particular roll number. Suppose we want to display any particular roll number. So what is the details about roll number 2 or roll number 3? So how to do this one? So you can see here. So in this case also it will be better if you can okay, now here we do not use any try and accept. So it is recommended to use try and accept, but if you don't want to use it is okay. Okay, but better try to use try and accept. So definitely we have to connect this one, we have to initialize the database, and you have to input the roll number using keyboard. The SQL command is what? Select asterisk from student where roll number is equal to %d. So since roll number is integer, that's why you mention %d. And cur.execute. So here you have to pass the SQL command and the roll number. Okay, and it will fetch the data. If the length of the is equal to 0, the roll number is not available. Otherwise, it will print the data. Are you getting my point? So this is what our SQL query. So here we pass the SQL as well as the roll number, and then we fetch the all the data. And if the length of this is 0, that means no data is available. Otherwise, it will print the content of the fetched data. And definitely you have to close, commit, and close everything. And if you execute it now, see roll number 5 is Salman. Okay, so we can execute. So if you execute, what is the roll number? You just enter roll number 5. You see the details of roll number 5. Okay. Next, roll number 1. Nearest 24 Haryana. Okay. Next, display record wise. Okay. So we want to definitely select asterisk from student. We may apply all. We may fetch all the data, or we may fetch first two data, or we may fetch single data, and keep all the data in data variable and display one by one. Okay, for row in data, and display all the content one by one. Okay, so it will be better if you put all the lines in a single line so that I can reduce the program size. Okay, this is what our program, and we can select all the data. So you can use this one if you execute it. So we can see here all the data are there. Roll number 1 to roll number 6. Suppose we want to display only the first 3 data. So enable it. First 2 data only. Okay, we can execute it. So you can see only 2 data are there. Neeraj and Rafi. We need only 3 data. Execute it. You can see here only 3 data are there. Neeraj, Rafi and Raju. Okay. Next. Here update a table. Suppose we want to change the age of any student, particular student. Suppose here roll number 6 Suman, whose roll number is 22. Suppose we want to convert this into 20. So how to do this one? So here, are you getting? So here we want to update something, update the table, student table. So how to do this one? So here we define one function. So here we connect the Oracle with Python. Then we define a function that is update roll number. And here we call the function update roll number. Here we pass 2 variables, roll number and age. And we insert the data via keyboard in roll number as well as in age. Okay, we pass these 2 variable, roll number and age. And definitely cur is equal to cursor, and cur.execute, cur.execute. Here we execute the SQL statement. Update student, set age is equal to colon new age. Okay, this is what our new age, formal parameter, where roll number is equal to roll number. Okay, so please see the syntax properly. Update student set age is equal to colon new age, where roll is equal to colon roll number. Okay, so roll number is equal to colon roll, comma, new age is equal to new age. Okay, and if the row count is greater than 0, age updated successfully. Otherwise, it will print update field. Okay, so how to execute? Now we can execute it. So we can see here student age 22, roll number 6, age is 22, and we can see also the SQL command. Student 6, age is 22. So we can execute it. So roll number 6, new age is say 20. Okay, age updated successfully. You can see the SQL command. So here we can execute, re-execute it. Now you can see here, initially it was 22, now it is 20. Okay. Okay. Next is what conditional delete. Suppose we want to delete any particular, if you want to delete any particular row, or we can write like it this way. We want to delete age, if the age is say something like that. Okay, so we want to delete a roll number whose age is say more than 30. So here you have to mention the maximum age. The query is what? Delete from student where age is greater than equal to percent %f. F is what? Age we have defined as a, okay, and you have to execute the SQL command and you have to pass the maximum age. Okay, so you can see here, you can see the table. You can see the table here. A few data are there whose age is more than 30, more than equal to say 31 and 34. So we have to delete Raju and Salman. Okay, so how it is possible? So we can write like this way. So we can execute it. Enter maximum age. Now we put 30. Rows deleted successfully. Okay, so you can see the SQL command here and re-execute this particular. Now you can see here roll number C. Roll number 3 is not there, as well as roll number 5 is not there, and you can see the age. Okay, so we have deleted whose roll number whose age is more than 30. Next, we want to delete any particular table permanently. So how to do this one? So you can see here that particular table is there. Select a student table is there, and if you execute it, so you can definitely have to execute this particular table. Keep this program small. Okay, and the name of the table is student. We want to drop this one, so cursor.execute drop table student. Execute it. You can receive one message, table deleted successfully. Okay, and if you see this one, whether student table is there or not, and if you execute, now you can see the display is what? The condition is that tabular view doesn't exist. That means you have deleted that particular data. Okay, so this is just beginning. Lots of queries are there, so you can check the queries. Okay, and you can execute it. So this is just introductory theory part. Okay, how you connect with database with Python, how to execute a query. Okay, here I have mentioned only 8 to 10 SQL commands, but millions of SQL commands are there. We can execute everything using this. Okay. And that is the end of this particular video. Thank you very much.